Your tractor says everything about your farming decisions. Some farmers invest in reliable workhorses that'll run for decades. Others, they're stuck with overpriced money pits that break down every harvest season, screaming, "I make terrible choices with my hard-earned cash." Today, we're exposing 20 tractors that only the absolute dumbest farmers keep buying. These aren't just bad machines, they're financial disasters with hydraulics. Let's get into it. Number 20, John Deere 6 M Series, 2014 to 2018. Remember when you could actually fix your own equipment? Certain model years of John Deere's 6M series changed all that, and not in a good way. These mid-range tractors look decent on paper. 110 to 140 horsepower, modern cab, decent hydraulics. But here's what the dealer won't tell you. You can't work on many systems yourself. Critical functions require proprietary software that only authorized dealers can access. Need to change a sensor? That's often a diagnostic fee plus parts and labor. Want to adjust your hydraulic settings? Better call the dealer and wait for an appointment. The 6M series pioneered John Deere's right to repair challenges. Farmers who bought these tractors discovered they had limited access to diagnostic tools and repair information. One farmer in Iowa reported spending thousands in the first year on diagnostic fees for problems he could have addressed himself on his older 4020. The transmission can be problematic. The AutoQuad Plus sounds fancy, but it's complex and expensive to repair. When it fails, often around 3,000 hours according to owner reports, you're looking at repair bills that can reach $15,000 or more. That's more than many good used tractors cost entirely. If you bought a 6M series without understanding the service limitations, the dealer saw you coming from 3 counties away. Number 19, Case IH Magnum, 250 to 340, 2009 to 2013. Early production runs of Case IH Magnum series from this era look impressive sitting on the lot. Big, powerful red paint that screams serious farming. The 250 to 340 horsepower range seems perfect for large operations. But underneath that shiny exterior lurks an engine that can consume oil at alarming rates. The Cummins engine in certain model years has issues with cylinder liner wear. This can cause excessive oil consumption in some units. We're not talking about a quart between changes. Some of these tractors can burn through several gallons of oil during heavy work periods. Farmers have reported oil consumption so severe they had to carry extra oil supplies just to keep the tractor running during harvest. One wheat farmer in Kansas said his Magnum 310 used concerning amounts of oil during peak season operations. At current oil prices, that adds up quickly. Case IH issued technical bulletins addressing this concern, but many farmers found the fixes inadequate. The most effective solution often required major engine work costing tens of thousands, sometimes more than the tractor's remaining value. Certain Magnum series tractors from this era turned farmers into mobile oil delivery services. Number 18, New Holland T8 series, 2008 to 2012. Early model years of New Holland's T8 series promised cutting-edge technology and impressive power. The 270 to 435 horsepower range attracted serious farmers looking for productivity. But some units suffered from electrical system issues that frustrated owners. These tractors can experience electrical problems that affect reliability. The main wiring harness in some units runs through areas where it can be damaged by heat, vibration, and moisture. When problems occur, the tractor may shut down unexpectedly. The IntelliView display has had reliability issues in some units. Farmers have reported screens failing during critical operations like planting or harvesting. Replacement costs can reach several $1,000s, plus programming time. The challenge with electrical problems is they're often intermittent. Your T8 might run perfectly for weeks, then suddenly experience issues in the field. This makes diagnosis difficult and frustrating for both owners and dealers. One corn farmer in Illinois reported his T8 series experienced frequent electrical issues over 3 years, before he finally traded for an older, more reliable tractor. Some T8 series tractors turned reliable farmers into frequent service customers. Number 17, Kubota M7 series, 2013 to 2017. Kubota built their reputation on smaller, reliable tractors, then they decided to compete in larger categories with the M7 series. 131 to 170 horsepower tractors aimed at serious farmers. It was like watching your reliable neighbor suddenly start wearing a cowboy hat and claiming he's a rancher. The M7 series looks the part with aggressive styling and modern cab features. But underneath, it's built with compact tractor DNA, trying to do big tractor work. The transmission is adequate for lighter duties, but can struggle under sustained heavy farm loads. The hydraulic system may not keep up with demanding implements. Farmers who bought M7s expecting performance comparable to established farm tractor brands were often disappointed. The tractor would bog down in conditions where traditional farm tractors would keep pulling. Kubota priced these tractors competitively with established brands, but delivered performance that many felt belonged in a different category. You paid for farm tractor capability, but got compact tractor performance scaled up. Dealers promoted these heavily because the profit margins were attractive. They knew farmers would discover the limitations eventually, but by then the sale was made and trade-in values had already dropped. The M7 series proved that expertise in one market segment doesn't automatically translate to another. Number 16, Massey Ferguson 8600 series, 2011 to 2015. Massey Ferguson's 8600 series suffered from an agricultural identity crisis. These tractors couldn't decide if they wanted to be European sophistication or American workhorses, so they ended up being neither. The engine delivers decent specifications on paper: clean emissions, reasonable fuel economy, adequate power, but it's tuned conservatively compared to American engines. Farmers accustomed to Cummins or Caterpillar power found the 8600 series less responsive than expected. The transmission presents challenges. Massey used a Dyna VT continuously variable transmission that works well in certain conditions, but can struggle with sustained heavy loads common in American farming. It's smooth and efficient for lighter work, but may not handle the demanding applications that American farmers require. The hydraulic system represents another compromise. It's adequate for many implements, but may be underpowered for heavy American equipment. Farmers have reported waiting for hydraulic functions to complete, turning productive work into frustrating delays. One farmer in Nebraska summarized it: "It's like they built a tractor for farmers who don't really farm hard." The 8600 series was sophisticated but not always tough enough, efficient but not always powerful enough, modern but not always practical enough. Massey Ferguson tried to appeal to multiple markets and ended up fully satisfying fewer customers than hoped. Number 15, Challenger MT600E series, 2009 to 2014. Caterpillar's Challenger brand promised the benefits of tracks with the versatility of wheels. The MT600E series looked revolutionary with its rubber track system and cat engine. But what farmers got was a maintenance-intensive machine that made traditional tractors look simple. Those rubber tracks look impressive, but they're expensive to maintain. A single track can cost several $1,000s to replace, and you need 4 of them. Normal farming operations, rocks, stubble, sharp turns, can damage these tracks more quickly than initially expected. The track tensioning system can be problematic. It's designed to automatically adjust, but it may over-tension and damage tracks, or under-tension and allow them to come off. Either situation results in expensive repairs and downtime during critical seasons. The undercarriage components, rollers, idlers, drive sprockets, may wear faster than expected. Some farmers have reported needing significant undercarriage work at relatively low hours, costing tens of thousands of dollars. That's major expense on a tractor that should be hitting its productive stride. The ride quality that was supposed to be the main advantage, many operators found it less comfortable than a well-designed wheeled tractor with proper suspension. The tracks can transmit vibration and impacts directly to the operator. Now, the MT600E series proved that innovation doesn't always mean improvement. Before we continue exposing these agricultural challenges, do me a favor. Hit that like button if you're learning something new about tractor buying decisions. Drop a comment telling me about your experiences with any of these tractors, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss our equipment reviews. Trust me, we've got plenty more problematic tractors to discuss. Number 14. Versatile 2 WD Series, 2010 to 2016. Versatile built their reputation on massive four-wheel drive tractors that could handle the biggest farms on the Great Plains. Then they decided to build two-wheel drive tractors, and it was like watching a heavyweight boxer try to become a ballet dancer. The two WD series tractors looked impressive on paper, but Versatile applied their big tractor philosophy to a conventional design that didn't always work well. These tractors were heavier than many competitors, potentially causing more soil compaction than necessary. The weight distribution was challenging. With significant mass over the rear axle, these tractors could lift the front end under load, making steering difficult and reducing traction where you needed it most. Some farmers reported concerning moments when the front wheels would lighten during heavy pulling. The hydraulic system was designed for the massive implements used with four-wheel drive tractors, but it was often overkill for conventional farming. The system was complex, expensive to maintain, and could overheat during normal operations. Versatile priced these tractors as premium machines, but delivered reliability that some felt belonged in a different category. Farmers who bought them expecting Versatile's four-wheel drive quality got tractors that spent more time being serviced than working. The two WD series proved that expertise in one area doesn't automatically translate to success in another. Number 13. Fendt 900 Vario, 2007 to 2012. Fendt tractors have a devoted following among farmers who value sophistication over simplicity. The 900 Vario series represents the challenges of buying European equipment for American farming conditions. The Vario transmission is Fendt's signature feature, a continuously variable transmission that's smooth, efficient, and designed for European farming practices. It works well for precise, lighter work common in Europe, but may struggle with the sustained heavy loads that American farmers often demand. When the Vario transmission needs major service, often around 4,000 hours according to some reports, you're looking at repair costs that can reach $30,000 or more. That's assuming you can find qualified technicians. Many American dealers don't have staff trained on Fendt equipment. The electronics can be challenging. Fendt uses proprietary systems that require special diagnostic equipment and software. A sensor failure can shut down the entire tractor, and you may wait weeks for parts to arrive from Germany. But here's what really makes Fendt ownership questionable for many: the resale value. These tractors can depreciate rapidly because there's limited market for used European tractors in American agriculture. You might lose significant value in the first 5 years. Fendt tractors are for farmers who prioritize sophistication over simplicity and serviceability. Number 12. McCormick X7 Series, 2008 to 2013. McCormick tried to re-enter the American market with their X7 Series tractors. These Italian-built machines promised European engineering at competitive prices. What they delivered was European complexity with inconsistent support. The X7 Series used components from multiple manufacturers, creating potential compatibility challenges. The engine was one brand, the transmission another, the hydraulics a third. When something broke, determining responsibility could become complicated. The build quality was inconsistent. Some X7 tractors performed reasonably well, while others experienced problems from early on. It was difficult to predict which category your tractor would fall into. Parts availability was often problematic. McCormick's American distribution network was limited, and getting parts often meant extended waits for shipments from Europe. During critical seasons like planting or harvest, that kind of delay could be costly. The dealer network was another weakness. Many McCormick dealers were smaller operations that couldn't provide the comprehensive support that serious farmers needed. When your tractor experienced problems, you were often on your own. The X7 series proved that good intentions don't automatically make good tractors. Number 11, Deutz-Fahr Agrotron TTV series, 2009 to 2014. German engineering has a reputation for precision and reliability. Certain model years of the Deutz-Fahr Agrotron TTV series managed to challenge that reputation. These machines were over-engineered in some areas while under-engineered in others. The TTV transmission was designed to be sophisticated, a continuously variable system that could seamlessly adjust to any condition. In practice, it could be a maintenance challenge that required constant attention and expensive repairs. The Deutz engine, while fuel efficient, was tuned for emissions compliance in ways that could affect durability. Some farmers reported engine issues starting around 2,500 hours, just when a tractor should be hitting its productive stride. The electronics were complex and expensive to repair. A sensor failure could trigger multiple error codes that would shut down the entire tractor. Diagnosing problems required specialized equipment that many American dealers didn't have. The real challenge with Deutz-Fahr tractors was the mismatch between European design philosophy and American farming practices. The tractors were designed for European conditions and farming methods, not American realities. The Agrotron TTV series represented German engineering that was sophisticated but not always practical for American agriculture. Number 10, Landini Powermax series, 2010 to 2015. Landini tractors have agricultural history, but the Powermax series represented challenges with modern Italian tractor manufacturing. These machines looked good in literature, but could struggle under demanding farming conditions. The Powermax series used Perkins engines that were adequate for moderate conditions, but could struggle in American heat and dust. The cooling systems were sometimes undersized, leading to overheating problems during summer operations. Farmers in hot climates found these tractors challenging to operate during peak season. The transmission was another weak point. Landini used a manual transmission with multiple gears, but questionable durability. The shift components could wear prematurely, leaving farmers with expensive repair bills and tractors that wouldn't stay in gear. The hydraulic system was designed for lighter European implements, not the heavy American equipment that farmers typically use. The system could overheat and lose pressure during demanding operations, making productive work difficult. Quality control was inconsistent. Some Powermax tractors performed reasonably well, while others were problematic from the start. It was difficult to predict which category your tractor would fall into until after purchase. The Powermax series proved that a respected name doesn't guarantee a suitable tractor for all conditions. Number 9, Kioti DK series, 2011 to 2016. Kioti tried to break into serious farming with their DK series tractors. These Korean-built machines promised Asian reliability at competitive prices. What they delivered was confusion about their target market. The DK series tractors were too small for serious farming, but too expensive for hobby use. At 45 to 90 horsepower, they fell into an awkward middle ground that satisfied fewer customers than hoped. Serious farmers needed more power, while hobby farmers could find better value elsewhere. The build quality was inconsistent. Some components were well made, while others felt less substantial. It seemed like Kioti couldn't decide whether they were building premium tractors or budget machines, so they split the difference and fully satisfied fewer customers. The dealer network was limited, with many Kioti dealers being smaller operations that couldn't provide comprehensive support. When problems arose, farmers often found themselves without adequate local service or parts availability. The resale value was poor. Kioti tractors depreciated rapidly because there was no established market for used Korean tractors in American agriculture. The DK series proved that trying to appeal to everyone often means fully satisfying fewer customers. Number 8, LS Tractor MT Series 2012 to 2017. LS Tractor tried to compete with established brands by offering similar features at lower prices. The MT Series tractors looked like legitimate farm equipment, but performed like less expensive alternatives to established brands. The engines were adequate for light work, but couldn't handle sustained heavy loads. Farmers who tried to use MT Series tractors for demanding farming found them struggling with overheating and power loss under load. The cooling systems were sized for lighter duty than American farming often requires. The transmission was a weak point. LS used a manual transmission that felt less refined than competitors. The shift quality was poor, and the synchronizers could wear quickly, making gear changes difficult and eventually problematic. The hydraulic system was another disappointment. It was slow, weak, and prone to overheating. Farmers found themselves waiting for hydraulic functions to complete, turning productive work into frustrating delays. But the biggest problem with LS tractors was the support network. Parts were often hard to find, service was inconsistent, and resale values were poor. Buying an LS tractor was like buying a disposable farm implement. The MT Series proved that low price isn't always good value. Number 7, Mahindra MPower Series, 2013 to 2018. Mahindra's MPower Series represented the Indian manufacturer's attempt to break into serious American farming. These tractors promised competitive prices with adequate performance. What they delivered was inconsistent quality at moderate prices. The MPower tractors used engines that were adequate for moderate conditions, but could struggle in American heat and dust. The air filtration systems were sometimes inadequate, leading to premature engine wear and expensive repairs. Farmers in dusty conditions found these tractors challenging to operate. The transmission was a manual unit that felt less refined than competitors. Shift quality was poor, gear ratios were poorly spaced, and durability was questionable. The clutch could wear prematurely under normal farming loads. The hydraulic system was weak and slow. It was adequate for light implements, but couldn't handle the heavy American equipment that farmers typically use. The system could overheat and lose pressure during demanding operations. Quality control was inconsistent. Some MPower tractors performed reasonably well, while others were problematic from day one. It was difficult to predict which category your tractor would fall into. The MPower series proved that global manufacturing doesn't automatically mean suitable quality for all markets. Number 6, Branson Tractors, 2014 to 2019. Branson tractors represented low-cost imports in American agriculture. These machines promised significant value, many features for modest money. What they delivered was a lesson in why some things cost less for a reason. The build quality was inconsistent. Some Branson tractors performed reasonably well for light-duty work, while others were problematic from the start. The challenge was that you couldn't predict which category your tractor would fall into until after purchase. The engines were adequate for light work, but couldn't handle sustained heavy loads. Farmers who tried to use Branson tractors for demanding farming found them struggling with overheating and breakdowns under normal agricultural loads. The transmission was a weak point. Branson used manual transmissions that felt less refined than competitors. The shift quality was poor, and components could wear quickly under normal use. But the biggest problem with Branson tractors was the support network. Dealers were often smaller operations that couldn't provide adequate service. Parts availability was inconsistent, and technical support was limited. The resale value was poor. Branson tractors depreciated rapidly, making them essentially worthless after a few years of use. Number 5, Yanmar YT series, 2015 to 2020. Yanmar has a reputation for reliable small engines, so their entry into the tractor market seemed promising. The YT series tractors were supposed to bring Japanese reliability to American farming. Instead, they brought Japanese confusion about what American farmers actually need. The YT series tractors were over-engineered for precision work, but under-engineered for durability. They had features that looked impressive in literature, but didn't hold up under real farming conditions. The electronic systems were complex and expensive to repair. The engines were fuel-efficient, but lacked the torque characteristics that American farmers expect. They felt less responsive compared to American engines, making productive work slower and more frustrating. The transmission was a continuously variable unit that was smooth and efficient, but couldn't handle heavy loads. It could overheat and lose power during demanding operations, leaving farmers stranded in the field. The hydraulic system was designed for precision work, not the heavy lifting that American farming requires. It was slow and weak, making it unsuitable for many American implements. The dealer network was limited, with many Yanmar dealers being smaller operations focused on compact tractors rather than serious farming equipment. The YT series proved that expertise in one area doesn't automatically translate to success in another. Number 4. Antonio Carraro tractors, 2016 to 2021. Antonio Carraro built their reputation on specialized tractors for vineyards and orchards. Their attempt to break into general farming with conventional tractors was like watching a Formula One driver try to compete in a demolition derby. These Italian tractors were well built and sophisticated, but they were designed for European specialty conditions and farming practices that don't exist in American agriculture. They were precision instruments trying to do heavy construction work. The engines were efficient, but lacked the power and torque characteristics needed for American farming. They felt less responsive compared to American tractors, making productive work challenging. The transmission was a sophisticated unit designed for precise control rather than durability. It couldn't handle the sustained heavy loads that American farming demands, leading to expensive failures and long repair times. The hydraulic system was designed for light European implements, not the heavy American equipment that farmers actually use. It was slow, weak, and prone to overheating during normal operations. But the biggest problem was the price. Antonio Carraro tractors cost as much as premium American machines, but delivered performance that belonged in a different category. These tractors were for farmers who prioritized style over substance. Number 3, same tractors, 2017 to 2022. Same tractors have agricultural history, but their modern machines represent challenges with contemporary Italian tractor manufacturing. These tractors couldn't decide what they wanted to be, so they ended up being mediocre at everything. The same tractors use components from different manufacturers, creating compatibility and reliability challenges. When something broke, figuring out which company was responsible could become complicated. The engines were adequate for moderate conditions, but could struggle in American heat and dust. The cooling systems were sometimes undersized, leading to overheating problems during summer operations. The transmission was a manual unit with multiple gears, but questionable durability. The shift quality was poor, and components could wear prematurely under normal farming loads. The hydraulic system was designed for lighter European implements, not the heavy American equipment that farmers typically use. It could overheat and lose pressure during demanding operations. Quality control was inconsistent. Some same tractors performed reasonably well, while others were problematic from the start. It was difficult to predict which category your tractor would fall into. The dealer network was limited, with many same dealers being smaller operations that couldn't provide adequate support for serious farming operations. Number 2, Zetor tractors, 2018 to 2023. Zetor tractors promised Eastern European value with Western European quality. What they delivered was inconsistent quality at moderate prices. These Czech-built machines represented the challenges of competing on price while maintaining quality standards. The build quality was inconsistent. Some Zetor tractors performed reasonably well, while others were problematic from day one. Quality control seemed to be variable rather than consistent. The engines were adequate for light work, but couldn't handle sustained heavy loads. The farmers who tried to use Zetor tractors for demanding farming found them struggling under normal agricultural conditions. The transmission was a manual unit that felt less refined than competitors. The shift quality was poor, gear ratios were poorly spaced, and durability was questionable under American farming conditions. The hydraulic system was weak and slow. It was adequate for light implements, but couldn't handle the heavy American equipment that farmers typically use. But the biggest problem with Zetor tractors was the support network. Parts were often hard to find, service was inconsistent, and technical support was limited in most American markets. The resale value was poor. Zetor tractors depreciated rapidly, making them essentially worthless after a few years of use. Number 1, any used tractor with no service records. We've finally arrived at the worst tractor buying decision you can possibly make. It doesn't matter the brand, model, or year. Buying any used tractor without complete service records is like playing Russian roulette with your farm's financial future. When someone sells a tractor and can't provide maintenance records, they're telling you everything you need to know. They likely didn't maintain it properly, they ignored problems, and now those problems are yours to solve. That attractively priced used tractor with just needs minor work is often hiding significant deferred maintenance. The engine that runs good may need major work. The transmission that shifts fine may be about to fail catastrophically. The hydraulic system that works great may have been leaking for years, contaminating the oil and damaging internal components. The electrical system that just has a few quirks may be a safety hazard waiting to happen. You're not buying a tractor. You're buying someone else's problems at a discount. The previous owner likely skipped oil changes, ignored warning lights, and drove it until something expensive broke, then decided to make it your problem. The repair costs may exceed what you paid for the tractor within the first year. You'll spend more time fixing it than using it. Your neighbors will start recognizing your service truck because it's at your farm so often. There you have it, folks. 20 tractors that prove just because you can afford the payments doesn't mean you should sign the papers. From subscription traps to import challenges, these machines represent questionable decisions on four wheels and tracks. If you learned something today about avoiding these agricultural challenges, hit that subscribe button and check out our next video on your screen about the most reliable tractors that will actually make you money instead of costing you a fortune. Remember, a good tractor gets the work done without emptying your bank account. Thanks for watching, and farm smart out there.